Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving deep into the world of the million-dollar mindset. We have some really fascinating material to explore, and I have a feeling this is going to be much more than just about money. It's about unlocking a way of thinking that can seriously change your life.
Absolutely. It's about tapping into that potential that we all have inside.
Right. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What exactly does it mean to have a million-dollar mindset?
You know, it's funny because having a $1 million mindset isn't really about having $1 million in the bank. It's more about developing the mindset of someone who could actually create that kind of wealth. It's like your source material says thinking, acting, and believing like someone who attracts success, almost like laying the foundation for everything else.
That makes a lot of sense. It's
Yeah.
like setting yourself up for success from the inside out. And speaking of building blocks, our source outlines 5 key pillars of a million-dollar mindset: abundance mentality, resilience, vision, self-belief, and an action-oriented approach. Those seem pretty important, huh?
Oh, they're essential. Each pillar plays a critical role in shaping that $1 million mindset. Let's start with abundance mentality. It's about moving away from that scarcity mindset, that feeling that there's never enough, and instead embracing the idea that there's plenty of opportunity out there for everyone. This shift can open you up to collaborations and possibilities you might have missed otherwise.
So it's like instead of fighting over scraps, you're working together to create something bigger.
Exactly. It's about seeing the potential for abundance rather than getting stuck in that scarcity trap.
I love that. So how does resilience fit into this whole picture? We all face setbacks in life, but it's how we handle them that seems to really make a difference.
You got it. Resilience is all about bouncing back from those setbacks, learning from them, and using them as fuel to grow. Instead of seeing failure as the end, it becomes a comma, a pause before the next chapter begins. A $1 million mindset sees those stumbles as valuable feedback, helping us refine our approach and come back even stronger.
So it's about reframing those tough moments as opportunities. I like that. Now, the source also emphasizes the importance of vision, having a clear picture of what you want to achieve. Why is that so crucial?
Well, imagine setting off on a journey without knowing where you're going. You'd probably end up lost, right? It's the same with goals. Without a clear vision, you lack direction and purpose. A $1 million mindset involves defining exactly what you want, your goals, your dreams, those big aspirations, so you can create a roadmap and stay motivated along the way.
That's a great analogy. It's about setting that destination and charting a course to get there. Now, what about self-belief? It seems like having faith in yourself, even when doubts creep in, is a big part of this mindset. But how do you actually cultivate that kind of unwavering belief in your own abilities?
Self-belief is like a muscle. It gets stronger with practice. The source recommends focusing on your past successes, even the small ones. Remember those times you overcame challenges and achieved something you thought was impossible. It's like creating a highlight reel of your wins to fight off those doubts.
I love that. Building a mental arsenal of evidence to remind yourself of what you're capable of. Okay, last pillar. We've got the action-oriented approach. It seems pretty straightforward. It's about taking action. But is there more to it than that?
Yeah, definitely. Dreams without action are just dreams. This pillar is about consistently taking steps towards those goals. Don't let the big picture overwhelm you. Break it down into smaller, manageable tasks and then just focus on knocking those out one by one. It's that consistent action that creates momentum and keeps you moving forward.
So it's about taking those big goals and turning them into a series of smaller, achievable steps. You mentioned that each of these pillars plays a critical role. How do they all work together to create this powerful million-dollar mindset?
Imagine building a house. Vision is the blueprint. Self-belief lays the foundation. An action-oriented approach constructs the structure, abundance mentality expands the possibilities, and resilience makes it strong enough to withstand any storm. Together, they create a solid structure for achieving your goals.
I love that analogy. I can really see how each pillar supports and strengthens the others. But let's get practical for a second. The source outlines 5 steps to actually develop this million-dollar mindset. What's the first step, and how can someone listening right now start putting it into practice today?
The first step is surround yourself with success. It's about creating an environment that supports your goals. That could mean surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, engaging with content like books and podcasts that offer valuable insights, and seeking out mentors or communities that align with your aspirations. It's all about choosing influences that foster a growth mindset.
So it's like building a success ecosystem for yourself, replacing negativity with things that uplift and motivate you. That's great in theory, but can we get a little more specific?
Yeah.
Like, what are some tangible examples that could help someone listening apply this right now?
Of course. Knowing that our listener is passionate about mentioned listener-specific interest, they could start by provide 2-3 tailored suggestions, e.g., joining a local group, following specific influencers, attending relevant events, etc. It's about finding those sources of inspiration and guidance that resonate with their specific interests and goals. Those are just a few ideas, but the key is to find what works for you.
That's really helpful. I bet that would make a big difference. Now, step 2 is practice gratitude. The source suggests starting each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. That seems simple enough, but how does that actually contribute to a million-dollar mindset?
Gratitude is a powerful tool for shifting your perspective. Instead of focusing on what you lack, you start appreciating what you already have. By acknowledging those good things in your life, even the small ones, you cultivate a sense of abundance and contentment, which can fuel your motivation and resilience. It makes it easier to face challenges and stay focused on those goals.
It's like choosing to see the glass half full, which can make a big difference in how we approach everything, right?
Okay, what about step 3? Visualizing your success.
Visualization is a technique used by so many successful people. It's about vividly imagining yourself achieving your goals using all your senses. Spend a few minutes each day picturing that desired outcome as if it's already happened. Really feel those emotions associated with achieving that success. This practice prepares your mind for success and helps you overcome those limiting beliefs that might be holding you back.
Wow, so it's like mental rehearsal for success. I can see how that would boost confidence and motivation. All right, the 4th step is all about adopting a growth mindset. Can you tell me more about what that means? Sure. A growth mindset is all about believing in your capacity to learn and evolve. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities rather than threats. So, for example, instead of saying, I'm not good at this, try saying, I'm not good at this yet. That tiny shift in language shows a belief in your ability to develop new skills and overcome obstacles.
It's like giving yourself permission to be a work in progress, which can take a lot of pressure off. Okay, last step in developing that million-dollar mindset is take massive action. What does that mean, and why is it so important?
It ties back to what we were saying earlier about turning dreams into reality.
Mm.
It's not enough to just think about your goals. You have to actually do something. It's about consistently putting in the work even when it's tough. Remember, it's not about bursts of effort here and there. It's about committing to making steady progress day after day.
It's about putting those million-dollar thoughts into motion. But let's be real for a second. Building this kind of mindset isn't always easy. What are some of the roadblocks that people might run into along the way?
You're absolutely right. It takes effort, and there will be challenges. The source material highlights 4 common mindset blocks that can really get in the way: fear of failure, self-doubt, scarcity thinking, and procrastination. Let's dive into those and talk about some strategies for overcoming them.
Yes, let's do that. Let's start with the fear of failure. I think we all experience that to some extent. How can someone overcome that fear and maybe even use it to their advantage?
The key is to shift your perspective on failure. Instead of seeing it as a setback, view it as a learning opportunity. Embrace those mistakes. Analyze what happened and use that information to improve. Every failure is just a stepping stone on the path to success.
So it's about turning those setbacks into valuable lessons. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, you use it as fuel to grow. Now, what about self-doubt? Those nagging inner voices can be so tough to deal with. How can someone fight back against those thoughts telling them they're not good enough?
Self-doubt is sneaky, but we can definitely disarm it. Your source suggests 2 powerful weapons: affirmations and evidence. Affirmations involve replacing those negative thoughts with positive statements that reinforce your abilities and worth. Evidence is all about reminding yourself of your past successes, those times when you achieved something you didn't think you could. It's like creating a case for your own capability, using positive self-talk and concrete evidence to silence those doubts.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, now let's talk about scarcity thinking, that feeling that there's never enough to go around. How can someone shift away from that limiting belief to a more abundant mindset?
Scarcity thinking can be so limiting, creating a sense of competition and fear. It can even prevent collaborations and block opportunities. The key is to replace those thoughts with affirmations of abundance. So when you catch yourself thinking, I'll never have enough, try consciously reframing it to, I'm capable of creating abundance. It's about focusing on possibilities instead of limitations.
It's a powerful reminder that our thoughts really do shape our reality. Now on to procrastination, the ultimate productivity killer. Any tips for overcoming this all-too-common obstacle?
Procrastination often stems from feeling overwhelmed. One practical solution from the source is to break those big tasks down into smaller, more manageable steps. By focusing on completing those smaller steps, you create momentum and make the whole thing feel less overwhelming.
It's like turning a marathon into a series of sprints, making it much easier to tackle. Each small win builds confidence and keeps you moving forward. These strategies offer some really useful tools for tackling those tricky mindset blocks. But it's always helpful to see things in action. The source mentions a real-life example of someone who embodies this million-dollar mindset. Can you tell us about her?
Absolutely. The source tells the story of this amazing woman, a self-made millionaire who started with practically nothing. What's so striking about her journey is that even when things were financially tough, she maintained a mindset of success. She acted as if she was already thriving. She dressed well, spoke confidently, and took bold actions. And you know what? Within a few years, she built a multi-million-dollar business.
Wow, her story is so inspiring. It shows how a million-dollar mindset can help you achieve incredible things even when you're starting from scratch. It's a great reminder that our circumstances don't define us. It's how we choose to see and navigate them that truly matters. Now, the source also highlights some daily habits that can help strengthen this million-dollar mindset. Are there any in particular you'd like to highlight that our listeners could easily incorporate into their routines?
Absolutely. The source lists 6, but let's focus on 3 that can have a huge impact. Creating a solid morning routine, committing to continuous learning, and reviewing your goals daily.
Sounds good. Let's start with the morning routine. Why is this so important for cultivating a million-dollar mindset?
Well, think about it. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. It's like setting the stage for success. The source recommends incorporating things like gratitude, visualization, and affirmations into your morning routine. Starting your day with these positive and empowering rituals can really prime your mind for success and help you have a more productive and fulfilling day.
So it's like giving your mind a power-up right from the start.
Exactly. You're setting yourself up for success before you even step out the door.
I love that. What about continuous learning? Why is that habit so important for developing a million-dollar mindset?
The world is changing so fast these days. Continuous learning isn't just a good idea anymore. It's essential if you want to grow and adapt. Whether it's reading, listening to podcasts, taking online courses, or even just having insightful conversations with people. Dedicating time each day to expanding your knowledge and skills is crucial.
It's like constantly feeding your mind with new ideas and perspectives. And what about reviewing your goals daily? Why is it so important to revisit those goals so often?
Think of your goals as a destination on a map. By reviewing them every day, you keep that destination top of mind. It helps you stay on track, notice any obstacles, and make adjustments along the way.
It's like having a daily check-in with your aspirations, making sure you're still headed in the right direction. By incorporating these 3 habits, a mindful morning routine, a commitment to continuous learning and reviewing your goals every day, you're creating a really strong foundation for maintaining that million-dollar mindset and ultimately achieving your goals right.
You got it. It's like having these daily practices as a way to sharpen your mental tools, keeping that million-dollar mindset fine-tuned and ready for anything.
It really is all about creating a lifestyle that supports those goals. But switching gears for a moment, I'm curious from all the information we've uncovered, what stands out to you as the most impactful part of a million-dollar mindset?
That's a great question. I think the most fascinating aspect is the emphasis on personal agency. It's not about luck or circumstance. It's about realizing that we have the power to shape our own reality through our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions. That realization can be incredibly empowering.
I totally see that. It's like taking the wheel and choosing your own path. But let's be realistic. Not everyone buys into this whole mindset idea. Some folks might find it too simplistic or even a bit out there. How would you address those skeptics?
I understand where they're coming from, but here's the thing. The power of mindset isn't just some abstract concept. It's actually grounded in science. Neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to change and adapt, shows us that our thoughts and beliefs can physically alter our neural pathways. This means we can quite literally rewire our brains for success by intentionally cultivating a million-dollar mindset.
So it's not just about thinking happy thoughts. It's backed by real scientific evidence. That's pretty amazing. But how can someone actually measure the impact of changing their mindset? Are there any tangible signs that this is really working?
Absolutely. One of the clearest signs is a shift in your self-talk. Notice how you talk to yourself. Are you starting to replace that inner critic with a more supportive voice? Are you focusing on solutions instead of dwelling on problems? These subtle changes in your internal dialogue are actually reflections of a more positive and empowered mindset.
So it's about becoming your own cheerleader instead of your own worst enemy. I like that. What are some other indicators that a $1 million mindset is starting to take hold?
Another key sign is how you react to challenges. Do you see setbacks as roadblocks or as detours that might lead to something even better? A $1 million mindset sees challenges as valuable learning experiences that build resilience and adaptability.
It's about turning those so-called failures into stepping stones for future success. I love that perspective. What about in terms of concrete results? How does this mindset actually show up in real-world accomplishments?
This is where that action-oriented approach really kicks in. A $1 million mindset is about more than just positive thinking. It's about translating those thoughts into tangible action. You'll probably notice an increase in your productivity, a willingness to take calculated risks, and a greater sense of purpose driving your actions.
It's about turning those big ideas into real results. Now, I know you've worked with a lot of people on developing this mindset. What are some of the common traps people fall into when they're trying to cultivate a $1 million mindset?
One trap that people often fall into is toxic positivity. While it's great to maintain a positive outlook, it's also important to acknowledge and process negative emotions. Trying to suppress those feelings can actually backfire. A $1 million mindset isn't about denying negativity. It's about recognizing those feelings, learning from them, and then choosing to shift your focus to solutions and possibilities.
So it's about being real with yourself, not pretending that everything is perfect, but choosing to focus on the good and finding ways to work through the tough stuff. What are some other potential pitfalls to watch out for?
Another common mistake is confusing hustle with real progress. While hard work is important, it's crucial to ensure that your efforts are actually aligned with your goals and values. A $1 million mindset isn't about mindlessly grinding. It's about working smarter, not just harder. It's about prioritizing the activities that truly move the needle.
It's about making sure you're moving in the right direction, not just running in circles. Are there any other common traps that people should be aware of?
One more pitfall is constantly comparing yourself to others. It's easy to get caught up in other people's highlight reels and feel like you're not measuring up. But a $1 million mindset is about focusing on your own journey, celebrating your unique strengths and progress without getting sidetracked by what everyone else is doing.
It's about running your own race at your own pace. Now let's take this conversation a step further. Our source material doesn't specifically address this, but I'm curious. How do you think the principles of a $1 million mindset apply to areas of life beyond wealth and business? Could we use these ideas to improve our relationships, our health, or our personal growth?
Absolutely. The beauty of these principles is that they're incredibly versatile. Resilience, self-belief, a vision for the future, and an action-oriented approach are qualities that can enhance any area of your life.
Can you give us some specific examples of how these principles might translate to other areas?
Certainly. Let's consider relationships for a moment. A $1 million mindset in the context of a relationship might involve approaching disagreements with empathy and understanding, truly listening to your partner's needs, and working together to find solutions that strengthen the bond between you.
So it's about applying those same principles of resilience, open communication, and collaboration to build stronger, healthier connections. What about in the realm of health and well-being?
A $1 million mindset when it comes to health could involve setting clear goals for your physical and mental health, adopting healthy habits, and viewing setbacks as opportunities to learn and refine your approach. It's about taking ownership of your well-being and making choices that support a healthy lifestyle.
It's about bringing that same sense of purpose and action to your health goals as you would to your financial or career goals. And how about personal growth? How does this mindset help us grow and evolve as individuals?
A $1 million mindset is all about growth. It encourages continuous learning, self-reflection, and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. This could look like exploring new hobbies, developing new skills, or simply engaging in activities that challenge you to expand your horizons.
It's about embracing the journey of self-discovery and continuously striving to become the best version of yourself. These examples show how the principles of a $1 million mindset can create a more fulfilling and successful life in all its dimensions.
Exactly. It's about understanding that the power of mindset extends far beyond financial success. It influences our relationships, our health, our personal growth, and ultimately our overall happiness and well-being.
It's about cultivating a mindset that empowers you to thrive in all aspects of life. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what's one key takeaway you'd like our listener to hold on to?
Here's the most important thing to remember. A $1 million mindset is not a destination, it's a journey. It's a continuous process of learning, growing, and adapting. It's about embracing challenges, celebrating victories, and consistently choosing to focus on what's possible rather than what's holding you back. And the best part is that this journey is open to everyone, regardless of where they're starting from.
That's such an inspiring thought. It's about realizing that you have the power to create the life you want one step at a time. As we wrap up our deep dive into the million-dollar mindset, I want to leave our listener with something to think about. Think of one area of your life where you'd like to see more success. It could be your career, your relationships, your health, your personal growth, anything at all. Now think about which of the pillars or habits we've talked about today you could start putting into practice to make a positive change. It doesn't have to be a major overhaul. Maybe it's something as simple as adding a gratitude practice to your morning routine or consciously shifting from negative self-talk to positive affirmations.
Even the smallest changes in mindset can create a ripple effect leading to remarkable transformations over time. Remember, developing a million-dollar mindset isn't about instant results. It's about consistent effort and a commitment to growth.
That's the beauty of it. It's all about taking those consistent steps forward. Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive today. I hope this exploration of the million-dollar mindset has left you feeling inspired and empowered. Remember, you have everything you need to achieve your goals and create a truly fulfilling life.
It all starts with believing in yourself and taking that first step.
And never underestimate the power of a determined mind. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep those million-dollar thoughts brewing and keep those actions flowing. You've got this. So it's like having these daily practices is a way to kind of sharpen your mental tools, keeping that million-dollar mindset fine-tuned and ready for anything.
Exactly. It's all about building those habits that support your growth.
It really is. It's about creating a lifestyle that sets you up for success. But, I'm curious, from everything we've talked about today, what stands out to you as the most impactful element of a million-dollar mindset?
That's a great question. For me, it's the emphasis on personal agency. It's that realization that we actually have the power to shape our reality, not through luck or circumstances, but through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. It's pretty empowering when you think about it.
I totally agree. It's like taking control of the steering wheel and choosing your own direction. But let's be real for a second. Not everyone buys into this whole mindset thing, right? Some people might see it as a little too simplistic or maybe even a little woo-woo. What would you say to those skeptics?
I get it. It's natural to be skeptical. But here's the thing. The power of mindset is actually rooted in science. Have you ever heard of neuroplasticity? It's basically the brain's ability to change and adapt. Research has shown that our thoughts and beliefs can literally rewire our brains for success. Pretty cool, huh?
So it's not just some feel-good concept. It's actually backed by science.
That's fascinating. Okay, but how can someone actually measure the impact of shifting their mindset? Like, what are some signs that this approach is really working?
Well, one of the most obvious signs is a change in your self-talk. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Are you being a little kinder to yourself? Are you focusing on solutions instead of dwelling on problems? These subtle shifts in your internal dialogue are actually reflections of a more positive and empowered mindset.
So it's about becoming your own best friend instead of your own worst critic. I like that. What are some other clues that a million-dollar mindset is taking root?
Notice how you respond to challenges. Do you see setbacks as roadblocks or as opportunities to learn and grow? A million-dollar mindset embraces challenges, sees them as valuable experiences that help you develop resilience.
So it's about turning those so-called failures into fuel for growth, right?
Yeah.
But what about tangible results? How does this mindset actually translate into real-world achievements? Well, this is where that action-oriented approach we talked about earlier really comes into play. It's not enough to just think positively. You have to actually take action. You'll probably notice things like increased productivity, a willingness to take calculated risks, and a stronger sense of purpose and direction in your life.
It's about turning those thoughts into actions, walking the walk, not just talking the talk. Now, I know you've worked with a lot of people on developing this mindset. What are some common traps that people tend to fall into when they're trying to cultivate a million-dollar mindset?
Yeah, there are definitely some common pitfalls. One is falling into the trap of toxic positivity. It's great to be positive, but it's also important to acknowledge and process those negative emotions. Trying to suppress them can actually backfire. A million-dollar mindset isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing those feelings, learning from them, and then choosing to focus on solutions.
Right, so it's about finding that balance, being authentic with yourself, but also choosing to focus on the positive and finding ways to move forward. What are some other potential pitfalls to be aware of?
Another common mistake is mistaking hustle for genuine progress. Working hard is important, but make sure your efforts are aligned with your goals and values. A million-dollar mindset isn't about burning yourself out. It's about working smarter, not just harder. It's about being intentional with your energy.
It's about being strategic with your time and effort, not just spinning your wheels. What other common mistakes do you see people making when they're trying to develop this kind of mindset?
One more pitfall is comparing yourself to others. It's easy to get caught up in the highlight reels of other people's success and feel like you're not measuring up. But $1 million mindset is about focusing on your own path, celebrating your own wins, and not getting sidetracked by what everyone else is doing.
It's about running your own race, staying focused on your own lane. Now, I want to shift gears for a moment. Our source material doesn't specifically talk about this, but I'm curious. How do you think the principles of $1 million mindset apply to other areas of life beyond wealth and business? Could we use these ideas to improve our relationships, our health, our personal growth?
Absolutely. The principles of $1 million mindset are so versatile. They can be applied to any area of your life. Think about it. Resilience, self-belief, a vision for the future, an action-oriented approach. These are valuable qualities no matter what you're striving for.
Can you give us some specific examples of how those principles might play out in different areas of life?
Sure, let's take relationships as an example. $1 million mindset in a relationship might involve approaching disagreements with understanding and empathy, really listening to your partner's perspective, and working together to find solutions that strengthen your bond.
So it's about bringing those same principles of resilience, communication, and collaboration into your relationships. What about when it comes to health and well-being? How would you apply these ideas there?
Well, $1 million mindset in the context of health might involve setting clear goals for your physical and mental well-being, making healthy choices a priority, and seeing any setbacks as opportunities to adjust your approach. It's about taking ownership of your health and creating a lifestyle that supports it.
It's about being as intentional with your well-being as you are with your finances or your career. Makes sense. And how about personal growth? How does this mindset help us grow and evolve as individuals?
$1 million mindset is all about growth. It encourages you to continuously learn, reflect on your experiences, and step outside of your comfort zone. Maybe you explore new hobbies, develop new skills, or simply engage in activities that challenge you to grow. It's all about expanding your horizons.
It's about embracing that journey of self-discovery and always striving to become the best version of yourself. Those are great examples. They really show how the principles of $1 million mindset can help you create a more fulfilling and successful life in all areas, not just financially.
Right. It's not just about money. It's about cultivating a mindset that empowers you to thrive in every aspect of your life.
I love that. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what's one key takeaway you want our listener to remember from our conversation today?
Here's the most important thing to keep in mind. $1 million mindset is not a destination, it's a journey. It's an ongoing process of learning, growing, and adapting. Embrace the challenges, celebrate the victories, and always choose to focus on what's possible. The best part is, this journey is open to everyone. It doesn't matter where you're starting from.
That's a really powerful message. It's all about taking ownership and realizing you have the power to create the life you want. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the $1 million mindset, I want to leave you with one final thought. Think about one area of your life where you'd like to see some positive change. Maybe it's your career, your relationships, your health, your personal growth, anything at all. Now, what's one specific action, even a small one, that you feel inspired to take after our conversation today? It could be something as simple as writing down those goals you've been thinking about or finally reaching out to someone you admire for advice. What feels like a good first step for you on this journey?
It's exciting to think about all the possibilities that open up when we shift our mindset. And remember, even small actions can create a ripple effect, leading to amazing results over time.
That's so true. Small steps lead to big changes. Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive for today. I hope this exploration of the $1 million mindset has left you feeling inspired and empowered. Remember, you have everything you need within you to achieve your goals and create a truly fulfilling life. It all starts with believing in yourself and taking that first step.
And never underestimate the power of a determined mind.
So well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep those $1 million thoughts brewing and keep those actions flowing. You've got this.